Today on the Chad Slagle Show, coaching you to and through retirement.
We are going to discuss the importance of figuring out your purpose in retirement.
And on our Coach's Corner, we're going to go over why so many retirees are fearful that they will run out of money.
And on our Chalk Talk segment today, we're going to show you how to create a personalized game plan to get you successfully through retirement.
So sit back, relax, and learn. The Chad Slagle Show starts now.
I'm Chad Slagle. I believe financial planning is about educating people and empowering them to make better decisions with their hard-earned dollars. Coaching gives me satisfaction from watching a player succeed and get better. You need an experienced team around you. The best coaches have great assistant coaches. I have brought a lot of the techniques and structure I learned from playing and coaching football and apply them to the world of investing. My goal now is to coach as many individuals and families as I can on how to get successfully to and through retirement.
Welcome in to the Chad Slagle Show, coaching you to and through retirement. I'm Wendy Erickson, here with the coach, Chad Slagle. Today on the Clipboard segment, we're going to discuss the importance of figuring out your purpose in retirement.
You know, that's right, Wendy. If you're getting ready to retire soon or are currently retired, it's likely that you've spent the past 40, 45 years of your life working. You've gone to work 5 days a week for the majority of the day and then rush home to do some things around the house, have dinner, maybe get the kids ready to bed and repeat it all over again the next day. On the weekends, though, you're likely to spend your time doing whatever it is you enjoy, whether that's spending time with your friends or family or your favorite hobby. It's easy to fill those 2 open days a week. However, when you retire, you will have to fill every single day. When you retire, every day is Saturday. And while you're working, it's easy to think about how relaxing retirement will be. We all can't wait till we can just sit around. But after a few weeks of sitting around, relaxing, and simply enjoying retirement, you will get bored. The last 40 plus years you've been living to work, but as you get closer to retirement, it's important to shift your focus and work so you can live. All of these years of hard work have been working towards living that lifestyle you've always wanted in retirement. Now is the time to start planning exactly how you want to spend your days. What will make you, get out of bed every morning? What will you do to stay fit physically and mentally? How will you stay social? It is so important to figure out that side of retirement and be sure you wake up every morning with a purpose, a reason to get out of bed, and a reason to really get energized and attack every day, even though you're retired.
You know, from the outside looking in, myself and a lot of people out there are saying, it's not going to be very difficult to retire, Chad. I'm just going to have anything that I want to do. The day is going to be wide open. But I kind of get what you're saying, that when your days are completely free, you lose a schedule. I know I've always really thrived with a schedule. Like every minute of the day is scheduled. You got to do this for the kids. You got to do this for your work. You got to cook dinner. You got to do all this stuff. And then slowly but surely, like your kids become driving age and you don't have to drive them everywhere. So you've got that little extra time during the day. But I think until you absolutely have all free time in retirement, you're not going to understand it. So help us understand why we need a schedule.
That's what you have to think about. It's important to spend the weekends figuring out what you love to do in your free time, especially if you're one of those people who live to work. When you're no longer punching that time clock and chasing that paycheck, what will motivate you to get out of bed and out of the house every morning? And in order to truly be able to enjoy retirement and focus on the lifestyle side, you have to make sure your portfolio is set up so that you do not have to spend time in retirement worrying about the money. So today we're going to go over some ways to make sure your money is set up to last throughout the rest of your life, no matter if that's 75, 85, or 105.
So it's going to take some planning.
It
is.
What
you always say, even when it comes to our hobbies and the way we're going to make our money stretch out in retirement.
Absolutely. That's why everybody's watching the show today,
That's
right?
That's right. So we have a lot to talk about. When we return on the Coach's Corner, we're going to go over why so many retirees are fearful that they'll run out of money and how this can easily become a reality. Stay with us.
The number one concern of retirees today is outliving their hard-earned dollars. It is more important now than ever to educate and empower yourself to make better decisions with your money that it has taken you 30 to 40 years to accumulate. How do you do this? By using our Financial GPS, our guided planning system.
This is a 4-step process to help get you successfully to and through retirement. The first step in this process is to create clarity. Here we will help identify your goals as well as your concerns and identify what you want to accomplish in retirement. The second step, we will analyze the risk you're taking with your current portfolio, and this step will also identify exactly what you are paying in fees. In the third step, we will evaluate and assess your current plan and help identify the gap between the missing pieces. And in the fourth and final step, this is where we will work together to implement a plan of action to accomplish your retirement goals. And this process can take place at any one of our convenient locations in Missouri, at our Creve Coeur and Sunset Hills offices, or in Illinois at our Edwardsville, Springfield, and Jacksonville locations. So call now to get set up on the right path on your journey through retirement.
Welcome back into the Chad Slagle Show, coaching you to and through retirement. We are back with the coach, Chad Slagle. And today on the Coach's Corner, we're going to discuss why so many retirees are afraid that they're going to run out of money and how this can easily become reality.
Unfortunately, Wendy, it's one of the issues we see when we sit down with the client is that they do not understand what phase of life they're currently in. And there are 3 financial phases in our lives. We all have 3 and only 3. And the first phase is what we call the accumulation phase. It starts at about age 20 when you start working. And the whole goal of this phase is to work long enough and save up enough money so that eventually you get to the point where you can retire. Then when you get to your late 50s and early 60s, you enter what we call the preservation phase of life. And this is the point when you retire and no longer have a steady paycheck coming in. Then you get to the third and final phase, which is what we call the distribution phase. At this point, most people want to take what they've accumulated and not only make sure it lasts throughout the rest of their lives, but when they do decide to walk out on life, they want to make sure it's passed on to their children, their grandchildren, their churches, whoever their beneficiaries may be, in the most tax efficient and most tax advantageous manner.
I know a lot of us fear things that we don't know a lot about, right? So you're out of your comfort zone, but I think education and learning these phases would help somebody not be as fearful in retirement.
Very good point. If we don't know about something, our first reaction is to fear it and not want to think about it, right?
Put it
but
out
the
of our
problem
mind.
is we're all going to get older. We're going to get to the point where eventually we retire. And unfortunately, we're all going to get to the point eventually where we pass away. So these are things you cannot be afraid of, but they're unknowns. So if it's an unknown, as you mentioned, Wendy, you have to educate yourself.
All right, well, and let's talk about one of the biggest fears that you say you hear from clients all of the time, the fear of running out of money in retirement.
It's a huge concern, and you have to understand what is the accumulation versus the preservation phase of life. And one downfall of many retirees' portfolios is not realizing when they need to make a change from the accumulation to that preservation. There's a big difference between the two. During the accumulation phase, say you're 48 years of age like I am, and you lose 30 to 40% of your portfolio, which happened to a lot of people just back in 2020. Yes, it's a big deal, but it's not as big a deal. Why? Because you still have another 15 to 20 years to make up for those losses, and you have new money coming in, whether that be from a salary or an hourly wage that helps make up for those losses. Now, the preservation phase of life is the phase of life when you retire and no longer have earnings coming in. Now, if you lose 30 to 40% of your portfolio, it's a huge deal because you don't have that new money coming in to make up for those losses. You also have less time in today's pensionless society. You may need to draw from that money to live off of.
Well, the good news is there's always time to learn these concepts, right? And before it's too late.
Never too late to start learning.
All
Absolutely.
right, yes. So what is another problem that you hear a lot from people when you sit down with them for the first time?
A lot of people, or another problem we see all the time, are retirees who are scared to spend their money because they fear they might run out. You know, not knowing if your money will last is a very scary and very real prospect, which is why it's so important to be smart with your spending. Recently, I sat down with a couple who had been watching the TV show and called in to meet with me, and they let me know that their retirement dream was to buy a second home in Estes Park, Colorado. But they were fearful that if they spent the money on a new house, they wouldn't have enough left to last them throughout their retirement years, or they were uncertain if it would. In reality, they had plenty of money. They just needed a plan to make it happen and allow them to have peace of mind and truly enjoy their second home. Maybe you're also considering a major purchase, a second home or a condo or something else, and fretting whether your money will last. I'm here to tell you, if you have the right game plan in place, it is very likely that you can indeed make this purchase and you will still be okay. That money will still last throughout the rest of your life, no matter how long you live, if you plan properly.
I think there are a lot of people at home going, yeah, I want a home, maybe not in Estes Park or wherever they want. They
Right.
have big dreams and they want to be able to spend it. So they just need to feel secure in that ability that they have their plan.
And it could be an RV just to travel locally or
Right.
travel throughout the country. Whatever it is, you just have to have the game plan, and you can't accomplish those things.
Well, I know you're a big believer in having a plan and writing things down, even taking it to that next level. That helps. I know that helps me.
Have to write it
get the
down.
day-
I have Post-it notes everywhere.
Right.
I write everything
It
down.
makes sense. So, what are some of those problems, and what's another problem related?
Another
to
problem
that
we
that you
see is one of the big words as you get closer to retirement, or one of the investment vehicles, is called annuities. Annuities are bad. We have all heard of annuities, the good, the bad, and the ugly. However, in my opinion, there is no such thing as a bad investment vehicle. The thing is, there's certain vehicles are set up for certain people at certain phases of their life. Variable annuities are what really give annuities a bad name, and this is because they are often used incorrectly. Variable annuities are essentially mutual funds in a life insurance wrapper. They're set up for younger people who are willing to take some risk, need some tax advantages, and need a death benefit, maybe need some life insurance. For retirees, however, it's a completely different story, and I found that variable annuities, in my opinion, are one of the worst investment vehicles for retirees. Why? Because they vary, they go up and they go down with the market, and the majority of them also carry excess fees in those accounts.
All right, so we're learning a lot today.
We are, yes.
All right.
Education, that's what's so
Education
important
is
today.
Key, and we have a lot more ahead in the show, so I hope you'll stay with us. So people have a lot more questions, Chad, and I know they do. How can they get a hold of you?
Well, questions are good. You want to
Yeah.
write everything down, and you want to have the questions. So to answer any questions you may have realized here today, or to schedule a meeting, call us at the number below on your screen, 888-294-9248.
And stay with us because we'll be right back.
Let's go.
He's such an involved dad. He's always telling the kids stories. I remember when so-and-so said I couldn't do this, or I didn't make this team. That's what drives him. In our family, we always tell our kids to stick up for each other, stand behind one another. He feels it's his role to provide, keep us safe, and to make sure that the kids are taken care of. A lot of Chad's clients have the same traditional values, and he bonds with them. Each family has a different set of circumstances, and each family is unique and different. The common thread between all of Chad's clients is that they want the best for their family, just as he would our own family.
Welcome back into the Chad Slagle Show, coaching you to and through retirement. So we just discussed common problems that cause retirees to be fearful that they're going to run out of money. Now we want to show you how to create a personalized game plan to help ease those fears and help you get successfully through retirement.
That's right, Wendy. Think about this. When is the last time that you changed your own oil in your car? You know, for most of us, it's been many, many years, or possibly you never have, right? Think about this. To change your own oil, you need the tools, you need an oil pan, you got to jack the car up, you end up getting oil everywhere if you have to get underneath it. It's a huge hassle. Why would you go to all that trouble when there are businesses nowadays that can do it faster, cheaper, and better than you can? These businesses specialize in oil changes, and they do them day in and day out every single day. This is just like your retirement specialist. These advisors work with pre-retirees and retirees just like you every day and focus on that preservation phase of your financial life. Yes, you could probably manage your own retirement, but it will likely be more time-consuming and may get a little messy if you don't know exactly what you're doing and if it's not something that you deal with every single day.
No, that's right. And I did think about it, and I have had my oil change within the last month.
There you go.
But I did utilize one of those places so it wasn't as messy.
As your car gets older, gets more miles, you may have to do that a little more often, right?
Oh my goodness. So we were talking about the fact that a lot of people are worried about running out of money in retirement. How do you help ease those kinds of fears,
Well,
Chad?
number one, as we just mentioned, you want to make sure that you're working with a retirement specialist. As you get closer to retirement, you need to make sure you have a retirement specialist who works with people just like you every single day. They've seen the concerns and problems and can provide you with step-by-step guidance, a blueprint, if you will, what we call your financial GPS. And you want to make sure they work in all three worlds of investing: the banking world, the Wall Street world, and the insurance world. They have the whole financial universe at their fingertips, and they know how to allocate your money to fit your retirement needs with the proper safe risk ratio. And they're up to date with the changes that affect retirees' portfolios on a daily basis. So to sum all that up, they specialize in retirees and pre-retirees and focus on that preservation and distribution phase of your financial life. And unfortunately, a lot of financial advisors only focus on that accumulation and growth of your money, which is important, but understand there's two other phases that are very, very important, especially as you get closer to retirement.
So find yourself a retirement specialist that you can work with.
Correct.
Right? And then you like to talk about formulating your game plan because you are the coach. And you also like words like GPS and blueprints.
Absolutely. So we talk about that GPS, or that blueprint for retirement. And the best way to make sure you do not run out of money in retirement is to make sure you have that plan set up that shows you step by step, turn by turn, how your money will last through retirement. When we sit down with people, we ask a lot of questions about their visions, their goals for retirement. What are your income needs? What are your lifestyle goals? What are your family dynamics? What kind of lifestyle do you want to have in retirement? To create a plan, you need to have answers to all of these questions, and then your retirement specialist can take that information and build that personalized blueprint, that GPS for your retirement. Knowing that you have a plan set up will allow you to enjoy retirement, and working with a retirement specialist who is monitoring it every day and tweaking when necessary will give you peace of mind. But the most important thing is when you retire, you want to be retired and not have to worry about dealing with these issues every single day.
Having no fear sounds like a great concept.
No fear.
Personalized game plans as well. So earlier we were talking about annuities, and that was something people you think have maybe a misconception about.
Well, yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, there's annuities that are bad, but there's also annuities that are good. And there's three main reasons that you might want to use annuities in your portfolio. First, preservation of principal, meaning protecting your nest egg. Second, to give you an income stream that you can never outlive. And third, wealth transfer. Annuities get a lot of flack, as we talked about earlier, but depending on the type, they are often a great way to keep your money safe and liquid while also avoiding large swings in value. And there's two types of annuities that fit these descriptions: immediate and fixed. With immediate annuities, you put your money in the annuity and begin drawing an income stream immediately right away to last throughout the rest of your life. But you also have to remember that whenever you decide to turn on that income stream, you lock in whatever interest rates are at that time. And of course, interest rates right now, Wendy, are not that great. So if interest rates are not very strong, you may not get much more back over time beyond that principal that you put in. Then there's what's called fixed annuities, where you cannot lose your principal. And anytime you make a gain, you lock that gain in, it becomes your new principal. One type of fixed annuity is what we call a MYGA, multi-year guaranteed annuity. When you put your money in, you get a set rate for a period of time. And when that period of time is over, you can take your money and do whatever you want with it. Then there's what's called a fixed indexed annuity, which means it tracks an index, say like the S&P 500 index. You put your money in the annuity, and you're not actually investing in the index. It just tracks what the index does over a period of time. If there's a gain in that index, you don't get to keep all of the gains, but you do get a portion of it, and now that becomes your new principal. Lastly, there's what's called fixed annuities with an income rider. You can get an income rider anywhere from 5 to 7% today that will securely let your money grow at a certain rate each and every year. Whatever age you decide to turn on will determine the payout you will receive for the rest of your life, no matter how long you live. And this gives you an income stream. Again, it doesn't matter if you live to be 75, 85, or 105. It's in essence, you're building your own family pension, your own private pension plan that's going to last throughout the rest of your life, and hopefully, if you set it up properly, the rest of your spouse's life as well.
I don't think a lot of people understand annuities and why there are those misconceptions, and you just explained a lot of it, but it's, to me, a perfect example of why you need a retirement specialist.
And you said something there, they don't understand. When somebody doesn't understand something, they don't know something, you get scared, right?
Right.
And when you get scared, you have to educate yourself. As we mentioned earlier, no fear.
You have to be open to more possibilities,
Absolutely.
especially with this something as important as our retirement. And in order for those of you watching out there to make sure your retirement plan is on the right path, Slagle Financial has educational events coming up in your area. To sign up for one of these events, you can call the number below, 888-294-9248. When we come back on the strategy play, Chad is going to show you how to create an income stream you can never outlive. Sounds great. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The number one concern of retirees today is outliving their hard-earned dollars. It is more important now than ever to educate and empower yourself to make better decisions with your money that it has taken you 30 to 40 years to accumulate. How do you do this? By using our financial GPS, our guided planning system. This is a 4-step process to help get you successfully to and through retirement. The first step in this process is to create clarity. Here we will help identify your goals as well as your concerns and identify what you want to accomplish in retirement. The second step, we will analyze the risk you're taking with your current portfolio, and this step will also identify exactly what you are paying in fees. In the third step, we will evaluate and assess your current plan and help identify the gap between the missing pieces. And in the fourth and final step, this is where we will work together to implement a plan of action to accomplish your retirement goals. And this process can take place at any one of our convenient locations in Missouri, at our Creve Coeur and Sunset Hills offices, or in Illinois at our Edwardsville, Springfield, and Jacksonville locations. So call now to get set up on the right path on your journey through retirement. Welcome back to the Chad Slagle Show, coaching you to and through retirement. On this week's strategy play, we're going to show you the importance of setting up a private pension plan. Over the next 30 years, the number of Americans 90 and above is expected to triple. However, other than Social Security, many retirees have no source of income other than their self-funded retirement savings. And when we talk about financial planning, 20 years ago, you really didn't need to watch shows like this. You really didn't need to do any financial planning at all. Why? Because when you retired 20 years ago, 80% of American workers had a pension. So you worked real hard and you put that money to the side. And all of a sudden, when you retired, the only decision you had to make was one. Either I'm going to take 100% for myself, or I'm also going to make sure that my spouse is taken care of. So we have a couple here, Bob and Mary, 62 years of age. They're retired now, and they need $7,000 a month coming in each and every month. So we look at Bob's pension, it's $2,000 a month plus Social Security. And then we look at Mary's pension, which is $1,500 a month, and Mary's Social Security, which is $1,500. That gives them $7,000 a month each and every month for the rest of their lives, no matter how long either one of them live. That money will never run out, and it doesn't matter what happens to the markets or interest rates, that money will always be there. However, folks, today, less than 20% of American workers have a pension. So now I hope you worked hard enough. I hope you save up enough money, and all of a sudden, here's this 401k, here's this nest egg. I hope it lasts throughout the rest of your life, because today you have Social Security, Bob has Social Security, Mary has Social Security, but that's only $3,500 a month. That means they have a $35 a month shortfall. That money, they have to find an income stream from their own personal savings, from their own 401k or retirement accounts. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we build them their own private pension plan in the form of what we talked about earlier, an annuity. An annuity, folks, as we talked about today, there's good annuities and there's bad annuities. But annuities are the only source of income stream that if you set it up properly, is going to come in each and every month for the rest of your life, no matter how long you live, no matter how long your spouse lives, but also it doesn't matter if the stock market goes up or down, that money is always going to be coming in. So it's set up and it's secure like a pension that will always be there. So by doing that, Bob sets his own private pension plan up of $2,000 a month, and Mary does the same thing. So now they still have that $7,000 a month coming in each and every month for the rest of their lives, no matter how long they live. So there are ways to supplement that pension, but you have to be educated and you have to make sure that you have an advisor that works in all three worlds: the Wall Street world, the insurance world, and of course, the banking world. Are you certain your portfolio is set up to last throughout retirement? Are you worried about running out of money? If so, I encourage you to give us a call today, and that's this week's Strategy Play.
To get more detailed information on these strategies and how they can work for you, call the team at Slagle Financial now to schedule your 5-point inspection. The number, 888-294-9248. And we will be right back with some of the key takeaways from today's show.
Chad Slagle and join.
I'll be with you guys in just a few minutes.
When it comes to your health, your life, your family, your home, and your hard-earned dollars, of course you want to make sure you're working with that sharp, energetic, knowledgeable individual that is always looking out for your best interest.
Such short notice, appreciate it. Thanks.
It's time to get your financial house in order.
This is the new age of retirement planning.
In the Wall Street world, that's what they talk about. You got to have
Back into the Chad Slagle Show, coaching you to and through retirement. We are Slagle Financial. Call now, 888-294-9248.
Welcome back once again to the Chad Slagle Show, coaching you to and through retirement. We've covered a lot today. What would you say, Chad, are some of the key takeaways?
Number one, know the phase of your financial life you're in now and which one you're going into. Number two, create a plan that allows you the freedom to spend your hard-earned dollars in retirement because you cannot take it with you. And number three, use the correct type of annuity to build your own private pension plan, that family pension plan that's going to last throughout the rest of your life.
Well, Slagle Financial and their team of advisors have educational events coming up in your area to make sure you are prepared for today's retirement. To sign up for one of these events or to schedule a meeting with Slagle Financial's team of advisors, call 888-294-9248.
Remember, folks, success is waking up in the morning, whoever you are, wherever you are, no matter how old or young you are, and bounding out of bed because there's something out there that you love to do, that you believe in, that you're good at, and you can hardly wait to get at it again today. At Slagle Financial, realize that this is bigger than our team. It's about educating you, the public, and our wonderful clients, and empowering you to make better decisions with your hard-earned dollars. For my co-host, Wendy Erickson, this is the coach, Chad Slagle. Thank you very much for joining us. We look forward to visiting with each and every one of you next week.